good. All out, red nomination. Super team. We'll have one more round. Really good. Really good. Stay on top. Yeah, drinks with Brian. Perfect. Good fellas. Here we
Hello and welcome to Ealing Trailfinders Sports Club. We are here today to watch this year's champions take on Coventry. They won the league after beating Cooldy last week, but before we get into that, let's listen from both head coaches. Your last game against Coventry was one of your closest wins of the season. How have you prepared to capitalise on that win this time?
Probably the same as every single week. We will study the opposition, but generally concentrate on ourselves. We know Coventry are a very good side. It took a massive effort to go and beat them at their place, and I'm sure it will take another massive effort today.
And you've had triple the amount of wins than losses at home. How do you think that's going to play to your advantage today?
Yeah, look, we're really confident at home. It's obviously a 3G pitch. I guess the leveller there is that Coventry play with a 3G pitch as well, so I don't think he'll play too much into it. Obviously, we're pleased to be at home and hopefully can put on a good show for our loyal supporters.
Is there anything in particular you're hoping to see from your team within the first 5-10 minutes?
Look, I think it's when you're sort of going out for the first time as champions, I think we want to start fast. I think we don't want to let Coventry get into the game and get into their rhythm too much, so I think a couple of the areas, particularly for us, will be around our defensive line speed and collision. I think our kicking game of being able to win some of those scraps and then probably winning the collision with our ball carriers as well.
Of course, and with the absence of Thomas Collins and Benjamin Harris, two of your top try scorers, is that something you factored into your tactics and gameplay today?
Probably not. I guess for us, they're obviously two lads that we're really going to miss today, but we've got a big squad, and I think when guys are missing, it's a great opportunity for other players to step up as they have been all year. And in Michael Dykes and Angus Kernahan, we've got two very experienced guys, and I'm sure they'll cause Coventry some problems today.
And finally, you've scored over double points than you've conceded. Are you hoping to extend that today, or is today more performance over points?
No, look, whenever we play, we think if we get that performance right, we know that we'll score points. We often talk about what weapons we have, and whether that's our scrum, whether that's our ball carriers, whether that's our maul, we want to exert our weapons onto Coventry today, and every time we have a shot, can we come away with some points? So, yeah, we're hopefully going to be increasing that points difference today, and if so, we'll be on the right side of the result.
So your last game against Ealing was a close 10 points. How are you going to try and close that gap today?
Yeah, look, we spoke about it. You have to stay in the moment the whole time. You know, against the top teams, one mistake, one error, concentration drops, that could be the difference. So we've just got to make sure from minute 1 to minute 80 that we're concentrating, and we never know when that moment might come. So yeah, we spoke about that to the boys.
What are you hoping to see from your side in the first half?
Yeah, bags of energy, physicality. We know Ealing are a real momentum, physical team, and if we give them that momentum and that energy, then it becomes really tough. So we've got to get out of the blocks and be really physical, and our energy and emotion has to be where it needs to be. And
what is it going to be like without Jimmy Martin and instead Jake Henry in the team?
Yeah, look, it's a shame for Jimmy. Jimmy's not playing. Jake deserves his opportunity, and it's unfortunate for Jimmy, but within Jake we've got a lad who's really hungry, a really good person who's got a lot of energy, so we're excited for Jake, and it's a shame for Jimmy.
And Ealing are missing two of their top try scorers. How will that impact your play and advantage you?
Yeah, no, not too much. Obviously they've got quality players in their squad, and they've got lots of depth in their squad as well, so look, people like Tom Collins, etc., are good players, and any team would miss them, but I don't think it will make much difference today.
What do you think it will be like having your two former Ealing players in today's team, particularly Tom Hitchcock, who scored twice last time? What do you think it's going to be like for them?
Yeah, look, for them it's you always want to prove a point against a team where you've been and you've maybe been let go, so you always got a point to prove, but I think they'll be fully concentrated on what's best for the team today, and hopefully the other players in our squad can make sure they get a really good memory and a chance to probably turn around and stick two fingers up kind of thing, but yeah, it's about the team today.
Brilliant. Thank you so much and best of luck.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome to Ealing Trailfinders Sports Club. We are here today at the home of this year's champions, having won last week at Cooldy, second year on the bounce. Whilst they don't meet the requirements to get to the Premiership next season, the Championship's going to look a little bit more different with the introduction of two new clubs. What do you think that's going to look like?
I'm delighted. Actually, I do love the Championship. I think it's a fantastic just ground for people to learn the art of sort of professional rugby. If they don't quite make it to the Premiership, where do they go? They go to the Championship. You know, where do referees learn? Where do physios learn? This is the hotbed of for me, the core essence of good rugby. So, yeah, I'm delighted that the Champs Rugby, as it's now called, has mixed it up a bit. There's a bit of jeopardy at the bottom of the table because obviously there's a playoff with the National 1 team coming up, which makes them play right to the end of the season. But equally at the top, there's a playoff, hopefully to get into the Premiership. And as you said then, Phoebes, you know, it's a fantastic story down here. There's incredible rugby being played from Ealing, but unfortunately they're just stopped at the last moment every time. 2 years on the bounce to get up to the Premiership.
But they do have fantastic facilities here and really do have what it takes to get to the Premiership. So hopefully...
Absolutely. I think there's so many barriers and things being pushed in the way that really they should be open arms. So we've had 4 professional clubs go to the wall. That's including Jersey Reds in this division. I think you've got a situation where you should be rewarding people's endeavour, people's investment in the game in the Championship, and get them up to the Premiership.
Well, I'm very excited to watch today's game because we've had a lot of different player changes with both sides actually, with like a lot of their top try scorers going, some injuries.
Yeah.
So I'm very intrigued to see how it plays out.
Well, both sides play. I mean, Coventry again started the season brilliantly. Six victories on the bounce. Unfortunately, a little bit of injury has crept in, so they've fallen off a little bit. They're in 6th place. But Ealing, okay, everyone wants a piece of them. Ben Ward, the director here, will say that they've got a big bull's eye right in the middle of their chest every time that goes out. You know that they are the team to beat. But I think they've only lost three games this season, and they are deserved champions, back-to-back deserved champions.
Definitely. Well, we might see them get a 10th consecutive win today. But thank you so much, and we'll throw to Joe to go over the team sheets.
Well, thank you, Phoebe. And it is a day here that will be a coronation clash as far as Ealing are concerned, welcoming Coventry for the penultimate round of the RFU Championship, live from Trailfinders Sports Club. Forget about the Champions Cup. This is the only championship you need to be worrying about, or the artist soon to formally be known as the Championship as we move to the champ era. Now, the Crown is waiting for this 15 taking to the field, and Ben Ward has only named 3 changes to the team that claimed the Crown at Coldie a week ago, but he's been forced into another one. Lefty Zigaradis was named to start, but Elliot Chilvers is promoted in a last-minute move. George Davis is in, Mattis Jurevicius too, and Rob Farah has been the outstanding presence wearing 6 all 7. He makes up a potent back row with Geordie Reid and Will Montgomery. Dan Jones, who joined from the Scarlets last summer, he gets the nod at 10, and Angus Kernahan, the club captain, will be licking his lips at the prospect of a trophy lift alongside Ollie Newman when the deed is done today against Coventry. Well, Coventry and Alex Ray, they are intent on being the party poopers, and they've got the quality to do it. They welcome back talismanic captain Jordan Paul. He is an outstanding individual at hooker, and he's flanked by Toby Trinder and Matt Johnson, who, funnily enough, I overheard Lefty Zigaradis say to him, "Looks like I dodged a bullet today." He is a mountain of a man in the front row. Senatiki Nyalo is back from RAF duty. He's in the second row. And Tom Ball, the other 6 on the field, the other outstanding individual this season amongst the teams, is one to watch alongside Matt Kovesic and Chester Owen. Jake Henry steps in for top try scorer Jimmy Martin, who's out with a head knock from last week's handsome victory against Nottingham. Speaking of which, David Apoku Fajor, he's got to be the first name on the team sheet. 5 tries last week against Nottingham, setting a new Coventry League try scoring record. It's a day for celebrations for the Trailfinders, but Coventry will wish to come and make their mark. They've got lofty ambitions as a club, and the benches have got a fair bit of quality amongst them too. And a man to pick out on the Ealing side is Max Badilli. Many years of good service the former Exeter chief has brought to the green and white hoops, but today will be his final bow on the blades here. He will hang up his boots and pick up a coach's whistle from next season. Well, there's loads of youthful quality amongst Coventry. Jack Bennett, Mackenzie Graham, who's going to make his move permanent from Bath next summer. That's what it's all about. That's what it's been all about all season. Coventry must ruefully jog by because it's beyond their grasp. It will be in the grip of the hosts later today, but Coventry are no slouches, and I'm delighted to say that he's still got a spring in his step, and he's managed to make his way up from pitch side up to the comms box. Dewi Morris.
Thank you, Joe. Yes, indeed. Thoroughly looking forward to this as the Trailfinders come out back-to-back champions. They picked up the league trophy last week at Caldy. Good performance, 7 points to 34. It's not as bright and as sunny as it was on Merseyside, but they're looking keen today. They want to go and flick the switch and start the party, but Coventry, as you said, and Alex Ray know exactly how to unlock this Ealing side.
Coventry victorious here 2 seasons ago, 1922. They will be delving into that experiential locker on really a stunning day here in West London, and with the synthetic pitch prepped and primed for a high-scoring day of running rugby. And Craig Maxwell-Keys, the man in the middle, taking the helm.
Yeah.
And he's a sort of part-time referee, full-time safety officer.
Yes, indeed. We're just waiting for the flames to be moved down the bottom end, and here we go.
The penultimate round of this season's RFU Championship, the final as we know it in this carnation, is underway. It'll be the champ from next year on, with 14 protagonists welcoming Worcester and Richmond to English rugby's second tier, and a fair bit of jeopardy sprinkled into Craig Hampson, who has been the beating heart of Ealing Trailfinders over many a year. A class act sends the first ball skyward, and Rob Farah and Angus Kernahan wrap up the man from the Midlands. More called, and an early win, an early mini win for Ealing.
And you've got to say, very professional in the way they did. A great box kick from Hampson. Referee saying he had 2 attempts to get him down. If you get held up like that, the ball will go to Ealing. It's exactly it. It's a well-drilled exit.
It wasn't an easy.
And it actually turned it superbly around, so they're now in a fantastic position to launch into the midfield. I'm really looking forward to the likes of Francis Moore. I think he was signed from Saracens in the midfield. He's destined for big things. But first things first, the scrum, because you can't fire a cannon from a canoe. So they need to be pretty strong and pretty strength. And there's some big lads out there.
I learn a new expression every time I take to the mic with you, Dowie. Trinder, Paul and Johnson lock horns with Chilvers, Willemse and Davis, and it is solid as a rock. Little slow creep as Ealing launch, tip on to the outside centre Moore, who was a try scorer last week. Rob Farah is ignored, but there's a bigger man who boulders on beyond him. Nice little show and go from Davis Douglas Bridge. Signed as a back row, playing in the second row, seeing that sort of dynamism.
You can see the dexterity there. You can just see, he's a big lump, but he knows what to do with his hands.
Dan Jones, crunching hit put in by Ollie Morris, but didn't stick. And Ealing have got the go forward, and Hampson spotted a bit of vacant green grass in the back, and he knows this pitch so well, and it's a troublesome turf. When you let the ball bounce like that, Ealing pounce, and Cov are pinned back in their corner.
Again, it's another great play from the scrum half. Good box kick to start with, and Craig Hampson just running that ball. And yes, these plastic pitches are great, but they do have a different bounce to grass sometimes, and when you train on it and play on it all the time, you almost know that that's going to happen with the ball. Coventry didn't read it that much. They got wrapped up, hence there's a throw in now. And can Willemse hit his man?
He sure can, and it's fresh off the top, and Jordan Holgate, who's a gargantuan guy, is deployed to inches shy of the line. And it's a double movement.
taking a roll, the referee says. Good decision. But you can see the intent from Ealing Trailfinders. Every positional play is going to almost textbook category, but unfortunately just couldn't do that. And if you have a double roll,
tough on that. Tom Hitchcock sort of wrapped him up and used the momentum to drag him along. I'm not sure how complicit Holgate was there.
Well, Cov just need to get their hands on the ball, and again that's a sign of a great side. Ealing Trailfinders there again putting so much pressure. Scrum time is good as parity there, but equally the line out, you've got to win your line out ball. Coventry have to clear the lines.
Jordan Poole rotated out last week, shows no ring rust as he picks out Tom Ball, and off goes Senatiki Nyalo, who's been keeping his tools sharp in the inter-services competition for the RAF, keeping the bosses sweet on the airstrip. Ealing are making some real meters every carry at the moment. Kernahan the latest to do so. The tip on from Willems to Davis delivers slightly less change. And Holgate dribbles a tricky kick in. It's a good hard chase back from Opoku for sure. And Cov are going to get the put in here.
It's the same structure again from the set piece or from the first initial catch and drive there. They actually just pod it out with the forwards. They hit it in to clear out the ball and then they go out the back. This time actually Coventry read it well, shut down the space, so they had to put the ball on the boot. And again, it's a good retention of the ball. So it's all one-way traffic at the moment. Coventry, as you said at the beginning, wanting desperately trying to stop the party, starting even, but they've got, like I said, they just need some possession.
Crouch. Boy.
Well, no hanging around, no messing around from Craig Maxwell Keys, and the free kick immediately awarded. No resets here as Davis collides headlong once again. Well, Ealing are under pressure here. Hitchcock's arrived from round the corner, promoted from the bench, having scored 2 last week in that thumping victory against Northampton. And Geordie Reid, he has a clash. Farah, bit of friendly fire there, bumping shoulders with other green jerseys, but now it's the former Harlequin Matas Jurevicius. Nice hands. Well, nice footwork from Francis Moore.
They're coming back for an offside. Referee playing advantage. But you can see what, again, Cov are trying to do. They're trying to put some pressure, trying to get some press, get off the line quickly. But again, the referee's got an eye on it. They're trying to stop the flow of the ball to the Ealing Trailfinders big men. They're doing it well because they're cutting it off, but they're coming back on the blind side as well. This time, unfortunately, Coventry are too quick off the mark, and they're paying the price, and that is an absolute blighter of a kick, straight in there, just 5 meters out. And now the darts can start taking the tail.
It looks pretty still and calm to your pictures, but I mean, there is a bit of a gust, isn't there, going left to right, and Ealing have used that to maximum potential. I
think it's nice for the players. There's no sun out there, but there is a little bit of wind, but I think this is a catch and drive, but they've done well, Cov.
Yeah, Cov have submarined that immediately. Jurevicius really didn't get a chance to settle, and Geordie Reid couldn't control it, so instead Doug Bridge advances forward. Jurevicius doesn't quite get it, he's too wide. Acres of space out to the left. Michael Dykes has got chalk on his boots, but he's not going to get it because Will Montgomery is just going to batter his way through some tepid tackles from the Midlands, and the champions in waiting get the first points of the match.
Well, what have we played? 7 minutes. They've been banging on the door, and finally the door is opened. Again, it's just power. It's what Ealing, they set this stall out. This is it. If you get past the gain line, you get that momentum up, that great word we use in rugby union, momentum. It takes some stopping.
Both those offside.
And all of a sudden, it's just, again, the dam has broken. It was coming, held up a couple of times, but that time, big fella, number 8, straight over. And that's 7 points.
Last week, was Will Montgomery's first outing in 3 months against Cold. He got 55 minutes and he started with a bang here within 7.
But again, it's coming back to the point, Cov just needs some field position. They need the ball. I know it's obvious with this situation, but they've got to get some retention. They've got to stop this constant flow of ball carriers from Ealing.
The try scorer
Use that, please.
dominates the air. And now the captain, Willemse, who was sadly injured and missing when Ealing came so close to a Premiership Cup final against Exeter Chiefs. Hampson, not his best, but it's worked out nicely because Geordie Reid's worked hard in pursuit.
It's almost perfect at the moment. Everything's going the Trailfinders' way. They just put the box. It wasn't, again, Hampson's best box kick, but the chase is good. They always say the chase is only as good as the kick. So they've done well. Put Coventry into touch, and they make a mistake for the first time.
Kovacic slings one wide, then Hitchcock, then Morris. Apoku for Jaws out there. Trotter, the assist, and now the try machine is halted on entry into the 22. But here's the possession that Coventry have been craving, and they cough it up. And now they're spun on their heels, and this one's going to roll.
Will it go all the way? Yes, it will. They've got to come back.
Well, that's worked out all right for Coventry, hasn't it?
I think that's the first good thing that has happened to Cov. They've got the ball out to the incredible David Apoku, who scored 5 tries last week. And I've got to say, it was a tremendous tackle by Jordan Holgate. There's the ball. You think Apoku's can go. Look at that. Look at that from Holgate. That is how you wrap up a man, put him on the turf. And unfortunately then Cov losing the ball, losing possession. Big kick from Ealing Trailfinders, but they've got to come all the way back to the 22, as the late and great Bill McLaren would have said.
Not a small man, Jordan Holgate. By the way, 6'3" and 108 kilos.
He's just got to get there, and because you're not going through him.
He was part of a Jersey Reds backline that was enormous.
Gargantuan, I think is the word you're looking for.
Championship winner with them, of course, before their sad demise.
Absolutely. September 23, that was. There's a delicious blindside here opening up. Will they go there?
And the scamper from Maunder isn't utilised because Kovacic gets set upon. How on earth has that ended up in the hands of Senatiki Nyalo? Well, the captain won't care because he's having a pool party here at Trailfinders Sports Club. Jordan Poole receives the offload, but
well,
you tell me how Nyalo ended up with that.
What are you always told, Joe? Play to the whistle. They were playing an advantage. Kovacic gets the ball and goes forward. Then it's a attentive kick through that's rebounded up for Nyala to grab it, and a little bit of a basketball pass off to his captain. And the scores should be equal. And again, it's the first time I think they've been in the 22. First time they've had a good, decent set-piece ball, and a little bit scrappy, but they'll take it. Calm the nerves.
Tommy Matthews can't add the extras, but that's just what the doctor ordered as far as Coventry are concerned.
That'll be good for Coventry. Alex Ray, their coach, will have liked that. Yes, it's, like I said, a bit fortuitous, bouncing up, but again, keep playing, see what goes on. Great hands, fantastic over-the-top ball, and the captain says thank you very much. Now all they've got to do is exit, oh my word, and they make a mistake straight away.
Jake Henry spills a stinker, and Ealing are banging on the door. Immediately, Geordie Reid brought in off the shoulder of his captain. Holgate plays first receiver, gives it to Montgomery, who gets negative 5 metres for his clinch with Nyala. Nice from Jurevicius. Now into the hands of Wilson. He links up with Michael Dykes. Deadly Dykes cruises in for a simple finish. He scored 2 at the Bucks Park Arena earlier in the season, and he's on the board early here at Trailfinders Sports Club.
Yeah, it's one left winger gets the try, and it's one left winger, Jake Henry, that makes the mistake on loan from Edinburgh from that initial kick-off. Just dropping the ball. They scored a great try. You make one simple error, and this Ealing Trailfinders side are not sitting top of the table and champions for no other reason than they just are clinical. Simple play, big bosh up through the middle again, and then zip it to the left winger. So one makes the mistake, one scores the try.
Dan Jones, who accumulated nearly 600 points in over 150 appearances for the Scarlets, isn't able to accumulate another pair of points on this occasion. But still, it's the dream response for Ealing, and one that Jake Henry is going to look back upon ruefully. Montgomery, the man picked out once more, former Newcastle Falcon.
Please, you're inside.
Hampson's under a fair bit of pressure there from Toby Trinder. Logan Trotter, who played a bit of rugby up the road at London Irish. He had an awful couple of years with injuries.
Pass the ball. Straight on the ball.
Yeah, the penalty, you've got to go straight on the ball. Good decision from the referee there. If you go in front of the ball and try and drag it back, you're going to give a pen away, because you're taking the space away from the opposition side and their chance of getting that ball. But again, it's good. You've got to say Ealing Trailfinders have got the wind advantage at the moment. That box kick was superbly done. But again, they've got a chance. Second time now in the Ealing Trailfinders 22. Can they make this pay? Because they've got enough ammunition out wide. But again, the forwards up front are going to do the job first.
Well, they look to probe down the short side, and it all gets a little bit too congested. And Montgomery is Ealing's dustpan and brush, but in sweeping up the crumbs, he's given away another penalty.
And this will be pumped into the corners. Two quick penalties on the spin there. No other option really for Tommy Matthews. Correct thing to do. And now here's the brains trust. Where's he going to go?
Hold up.
Some tall men in there, but Tom Ball, who's slightly shorter in stature, is certainly the banker, hoisted by the likes of Reece Anstey at the back. And again, Coventry are threatening to switch play down the short side. Geordie Reid has infiltrated the maul, but Coventry get it to deck. Sam Maunder, the former chief. Oh, that's a lovely little show, and well, they had the insurance policy, didn't they?
Yeah, that ball broke away from me. Exactly. Yeah, just on the 15, Craig, sorry.
Again, coming back from advantage. Got to say, Ealing Trailfinders are giving away too many pens at the moment. They decided not to compete on that line-out. Will they compete on this one? That was good defensive line-out play, you've got to say. Stopping Coventry getting the catch and drive going. Goes to the same man.
No contest. They hold him a little longer.
We're going to do that again. You absolutely have to hold him with discipline. You cannot go underneath. You delay bringing them down, it's a free kick. Up, straight down, 5 Go again.
Pretty fair. That's it. Play by the laws, play by the rules. Again, you can't obstruct from a Coventry point of view. You can't obstruct and put a player in front of the game, in front of the man catching that ball. But equally, Ealing Trailfinders got to let that guy come down to earth straight away. And now they go. That's better.
Jordan Paul installs himself at the back of the chariot, breaks free and uses his power to go to within inches. Does well to not be dragged across the line and held up. Well, Matt Johnson was lurking with intent. That is his playground, and meter out all that ballast.
Let's go!
But instead, he's called upon to win the breakdown. Instead, it's shipped to Chester Owen. Very exciting prospect, Owen, at 21 years old. Youth coursing through this Coventry side, but they're looking to course through this stubborn green defence tight to the line.
Well, that's the fourth penalty, pretty quick. Again, they've got to be very careful, 5 minutes out, otherwise the ref may be going to yellow card. Infringements happening. Will Cov go again for the third line out, or it'll be Kovesic with a catch and drive on his own?
Kovesic.
Nice.
With the trick play, Nyala looking to stretch, but City's desperate and heroic defence from Ealing just as the sea parted. Still, they try to plunge round the short side. Melee of bottom jerseys, it's impossible to know what's going on deep in there.
He's turned it. Montgomery has turned that over. Brilliant.
Huge roar from the Ealing bench below us. Absolute silence, edge of the bench stuff. And that is pretty titanic from the Trailfinders.
Yeah, he's the try scorer and he's a try saver on that occasion there. You got to say Coventry will be kicking themselves for not getting over. They had three sort of chances of the line out. Again, close proximity, doing some nice little tricky catch-in drives, but unfortunately just good defence, and that's again why Trailfinders are champions. You know, you work hard without the ball as well with it, sometimes even harder. That defence, that D, they pride themselves, and they've done superbly well. You've got to say Montgomery particularly, but again, it's a team effort. He gets there, rips the ball off slightly. Well, you could deem him slightly coming in from a side position and offside, but the referee has given it. Everyone breathes again, and Coventry rue the chance that they should have scored.
Happy?
Big back row shift thus far from the Ealing Trailfinders.
Good.
Montgomery, Reeds and Farah standing out.
I'll have to tell you, my old mate Rob Andrew is down here. He's actually with Richard Moon doing the Coventry and radio at the moment. I did have to show him which end of the microphone to hold, so he hasn't done much of this stuff. But no, it was great to see old Squeaky. He's doing a good job there up in the top right-hand corner, enjoying the game, I'm sure. Two old Coventry lads.
Willemse, captain to captain. It was Farah who led the team in the Prem Cup semi-final. And Henry looks to put a bit more authority, but again, doesn't claim it cleanly. It's in Ealing hands. Willemse. Very comfortable in that 10 channel, but it's the real 10 Jones who gives it to Holgate, and that's inventive from Wilson.
He can play the ball zero.
Reed, who obviously spent some time at Gloucester before returning to Ealing. Real powerful back row, full of Aussie mongrel. Oh, one off the head, and we all know that that's play on, and so does Hampson. It's going to work out a dream here for Jones and co as they surge into the 22. But the jackling jaws of David Opoku locked down. Cov survive.
Again, try scorer, and again another try saver there, because again, if that ball had come out, there was options all areas, left or right. Hampson's, again, this is initially that started this move. There's the old Falcon straight off the old nugget. It's play on, there's no problem with that. But again, that's why you box kick. If you get it right, 3-4 seconds up in the air, you've got a defensive or attacking line that actually push pressures.
Okay.
You know, and just turn over ball.
Don't you think that's a mad law, by the way, that
Yes,
that it's not a knock-on off the head?
I do.
Like, I just don't get it.
Yeah. World Rugby will sort that out.
I'm sure they will.
Now you've said that, Joe.
More, it's over.
A hotline in.
No, but you are correct. It shouldn't be an advantage, should it?
Stay bound if you're good. One, Coventry!
Again, Ealing Trailfinders are so streetwise there.
Use it, please.
They're now struggling, Coventry, to get this ball out. They've just come around all the way around the side. That's brilliant. For all those forwards out there, they'll be smiling watching this game, but equally so the hours and hours and hours of training that is put into these forwards, not only scrum wise but also diffusing situations, diffusing line outs, defensive on the line out, and the catch and drive. Brilliant, superb play.
It's a bit high. A few travelling fans down from Butts Park way, cracking stadium, Butts Park Arena, great crowd. They're drawing in on average 3.5 plus.
Absolutely.
They have crowds of 5,000 there, and they are really embedded in the community.
But this is
Coventry.
it's the community game. This should be encouraged, and it is hopefully been encouraged. I scream about it all the time because, again, where do we learn? Where do referees learn? Where do physios learn? Where do players learn?
Where do commentators learn?
We're still learning, mate. Please don't say that. But it is. And equally, if you're a good lad and you come out of the academies or whatever, where do you try yourself? Well, try yourself in the Championship. You'll know straight away because there's some hell of a good teams in there. You'll know whether you're good enough for Premiership or whatever. And that's the yardstick, that's the barometer I do, and I just love this competition. But every time the RFU seems to put a big hand up, no, you can't come in. You should be opening the door, embracing all these teams and developing them, because we are the envy to the likes of Wales, the likes of Scotland, to the likes of Ireland. Only France do it, pro de deux. And I do. I find it incredulous that we don't openly encourage, the community game, and it can only get better. That's the soapbox stuff done now. Okay, you can calm down. All right.
Wow, there's a fella playing in Cardiff, a young lad who wore Bedford colours, didn't he? Henry Pollock.
Slightly.
In recent times.
Absolutely.
He's all right, isn't he?
He got on a sort of.
Carlo Tazzano, who played here for Ealing, he could be playing against the Lions for Australia.
Yeah.
But it is the green of Ealing who are the dominant force at the moment. Holgate, the huge human himself, takes a couple of defenders into the contact, and Coventry have to cinch in, and it's Dykes at the double once more.
Well, it's as easy as that, basically. I like big 12s, inside centres. Fly halves like them because it's their get out of jail man. It's their get out of jail card. And that time he was actually the damage done by the big fella, Jordan Holgate, straight through, that creates the space, because everything concertinas into that midfield, because as soon as someone gets that momentum up, attracts the defence, then the ball goes wide. It's simple play, but it's only simple play when it's done well. Forwards doing well, ball out the front, big 12, over the gain line. You don't hit him down straight away, he makes yards and yards and yards, and then recycle, ball goes left, scores.
Michael Dykes, who formerly a London Irishman, played a bit of time on loan at Rams, if I recall, thrown a lifeline here, and he is rewarding Ealing with a couple of pretty simple finishes, in all honesty. He's getting his name on the sheet, but it's the hard work in the centre of the field. But that is all you, Dan Jones. A fine conversion. And Ealing leading Coventry 19 points to 5.
Yeah, and Cov need to hit back now. As you see this, again, recycle ball. It's on a plate for Craig Hampson. And that's the try. Okay, I was just saying, Cov now really need not to let this game go away. They need to react. They need to get this ball back in the hands, and they've done exactly that.
What do you do here, Dowie?
Into the corner, straight away. Yeah. Again, their line-out's functioning pretty well, apart from that first one I think they missed. Again, it normally goes to ball, because on the last 3, Ealing Trailfinders haven't competed in the line-out, as in putting people up against it. They back in themselves with this line-out's defence, which actually got to say has worked. They want Coventry to go into the midfield. Will they go up again, or will they just be passive? Yeah, they're passive.
They mix it up straight off the top. They fire Tom Hitchcock out of the cannon, and he pirouettes to 3 metres shy. Poole with an army of pink and blue hoops men on his back. Propel Coventry to the paint. And at the bottom of it all, getting the back slaps, it looks like it's Senetiki Nyalo.
There he is, the big fella. Again, we've just seen a 12 created try. Jordan Holgate. It's Tom Hitchcock This time doing incredible damage straight up through the middle, and then all the forwards can have a point of contact. Nyalo gets the ball back in the van and goes over with it, but again it's a 12 that makes the difference. Tom Hitchcock, obviously ex of Ealing, so again it's a bit of a payback, but again a good retort, a good response, and exactly what they needed on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Tom Hitchcock, formerly of this parish, and so too again London Irish up the road prior to that. But he is one of a number of Coventry players who they picked up from, well, who have Buck Super Rugby experience. They really are a club who seek out the next youthful prospects. They've got a number of graduates as well who've gone on, like the likes of Will Rigg, who they picked up from Cardiff Met University, and now the Exeter Chiefs fans love him there. But you know, he was really had his skills honed in Coventry.
But it makes sense, doesn't it? You just go from the community. One, you don't have to pay the big bucks. If they make it, yes, you are going to pay the big bucks, but you've got them for a couple of 2 or 3 years as they're cutting their teeth. And they want to play. If this their hometown, you want to play for your hometown. That gives you that extra little bit of oomph in your belly when you're in the changing room, in the game, when that minute decides that I need something extra, and that's when you'll get it. That's what homegrown talent does.
I've got 11 minutes left as well. Does anyone wants to object strongly? Correct. Cheers.
Well, Senatiki Nyalo is a man they really ideally like to keep on the park. I mean,
just saying, they don't want him to go off.
Okay.
You can come from Fiji and still play with passion for the jersey, by the way. But I mean, we're used to seeing him playing number 8, really, Nyalo. So you know, that's the added dynamism as well by having him in the second row.
I wonder if you asked him what he preferred, number 8 or second row.
I know the answer to that. Everyone does.
Oh, well played.
Well, Willemse, he might as well have a 1 next to that too, because he's playing like a 12 out there today. And Jones trickles a troublesome kick into the corner, and Logan Trotter has his old teammate bearing down on him.
Already dead. So 22.
Yeah.
Hey, you got a scrum back or 22, lads?
Craig Maxwell Keys, the ref, again on the ball as ever.
20.
Good referee, but again, it's just the speed of all this. All of a sudden, you think they're driving it through the forwards. No, it's again Geordie Reid just throws the ball out the back. The captain takes it on, and again, quick ball. This time again, you can see the speed that Coventry are trying to get off the line that quick. This time again, the ball goes to the boot, but unfortunately, too overcooked.
Well, that restart hung wonderfully, or 22 restart rather. From all the ricochets, Coventry are the one profiting. Look at that press coming up from Ealing. Francis Moore shutting off the options out wide.
Tackle a little bit too high there. Not dangerous. Again, the right decision. But again, you can see what's happening. It's in that outside man. It's the rush defence that both sides are playing at today, which makes it equally different. What they're trying to do is get the playmaker, the number 10 here, to throw that pass. He hasn't thrown that pass because all of a sudden that green line has gone like a boomerang, and they want him to throw that risky pass over the top to the winger, but does the right thing and goes back for his forwards.
That is an emphatic no from Rob Farrett in terms of whether there's access down his channel. Early replacement Will Lane, not quite sure who he's come on for actually.
Well, Rob Farrell's going to be up there for player of the season, talking to a few people around here, and I will say no more. Unbelievable performances time and time again, but again collectively that's what the likes of Ben Ward will be looking at.
It looks like David Opoku for Jure has left the field. I'm not sure if that's permanent or
hit me square in the head
for an HIA.
Yeah. Right, 8 minutes or so, 7 minutes to go. Again, Cov need to do a little bit of defending of their own here.
We've got Ealing to ground first. He's through. broken away. Failure to wrap.
Willemse has been in everything, so too Holgate.
Penalty advantage.
There's an advantage coming for Matt Johnson, no arms in the tackle.
And then midfield offside.
Montgomery steamrolls Tommy
Midfield
Matthews
offside,
again.
10 offside for Coventry as well. Yeah, captain. You've got a midfield offside. Walk back to 7 metres in. That's just 3 no arms tackle. So 3 line with me for the first tackle. 3's got a wrap. You can't just drop across the arm in front of him.
That explains it all. Ealing going into the corner. They could have had a scrum almost right in front of the post because there was a couple of pens going on there. They've gone for the tried and tested. Will they just catch it in drive, or will they do something cute?
Jurevicius calls it on himself. It's an intricate transfer, and off go Ealing, rocking and rolling, and unstoppably to the line. It was so well worked. It was so swift. Coventry were always scrambling, and Geordie Reid, the man at the bottom of the heap.
Yeah, we knew exactly what was going on. A combination, there's 2 pods, one's going, one's driving. Again, it's just slipped to that second pod at the back. That's cute play. When I said cute initially, normally somebody comes round and does a little dummy with the hooker and the fly half gets involved. Nah, keep it in the forwards. Just play in 2 pods, bring the ball down, go off to the right and get the momentum going forward, and you cannot stop it. Great score.
Yeah. You hear me, Clarky?
Oh, the playmaker from that rugby hotbed, Carmarthen, sizes up the poles once more after the bonus point score, and again bisects them. 26 points to 12, Ealing leads, but as Ealing and we well know, Coventry are going to come back firing.
Yeah, they'll need to. Can they do it before half-time closes? But again, they haven't retained that back, and the way Ealing play, they're very professional. This will just be boxed up
not out,
and chased.
Logan Trotter, Scotsman, feeds Matthews, who runs in to a green brick wall.
Yeah, you don't want to be asking your number 10 to smash it up in front of some back row forwards and props. So that's a bad mistake.
Sam Maunder sees his ball hang tantalisingly in this West London gust. But ultimately it's coolly claimed by Ealing. Willemse, footwork just bouncing around with intent, and Coventry go off their feet.
I think it was
Johnson.
It's the big tight end. Yeah, again, you've got to move west to east as quickly as you can. You can't sort of pretend to just go, oh, look at me, ref, I'm moving. And Hampson did play, the Ealing Trailfinders scrum half play a little part in that. So I can't get the ball out, sir, and bump. You've got to do it instantly. You can't just stay there and
that's yours,
wriggle. You've got to move. And now this is really good field position just on the 22. 4 minutes to go. Already got the bonus point, but that doesn't matter because, again, they've got the trophy. They won that last week at Caldy. And here we go.
Scrappy from Ealing. There is some advantage for Coventry, but very little of it. So we come back for the scrum, and really Coventry, this is such a crucial period, isn't it, for them to preserve the integrity of their line ahead of the half-time, because 14 points is by no means insurmountable. 21 is beginning to become a different conversation.
No, they are a try machine. Yeah, they had 6 great victories and injuries. Unfortunately, that's the story of this season, blighted them. But 11 tries last week against Nottingham. Read into that what you want, but they have got potential to do that. They've just got to clear up their slightly mistakes, and they've got to get behind each other. But from this point of view, from me, if I was coaching, you just exit well. You don't do anything special. You just make sure that scoreboard stays the same, or if you're lucky to get a try, but you've got to say, with the way Ealing's defence is, you just close this game out to the second half, and then you go again. That's the clock going down, so they'll be happy with that, but not the scrum.
It fails with both props going to ground. It's not played away. It's still a Coventry ball, despite my initial answer.
There's some big boys there, isn't there?
So height and shoulders out, please. It's not a race to that touchline. Crouch. Bind. Set. Stay square, it's good. Stationary 8.
Maunda with a dummy run to wrong foot the defence, and well, they haven't got you in their ears, that's for sure, Dowie. They're playing. They're here to enjoy themselves. Their last game on the road, Coventry, before they welcome London Scottish at the BPA next week, and Ollie Morris dances inside.
Exactly
that blitz in green. Jordan Paul bursts through the heart. Out the back door from Maunda. Wasn't intended for Nyalo, but it'll do.
Only got one hand on it.
Hitchcock, built like a back row, goes toe to toe with two Trailfinders. Oh, that is gorgeous from Jordan Paul. Pure instinct, and that could be a 50-22 if it wasn't taken back in.
It's played back in. So it's not an option.
Well, played back in, sadly. We love a 50-22.
You played it back into your half before kicking it.
Yeah, like you said, they're going for it. It could have been turned over a couple of times, but fortune favours the brave.
Cheers, man.
And they're throwing this ball all over the place, which is good to see. So now, clock goes into the red. This should be it from Ealing. They've just got to do what they do best.
Taken smartly by Montgomery, and Willemse gets yet another carry under his belt.
Yes, please.
Hampson has a rummage, pumps it long, and there
10
is
seconds in.
still 10 seconds left of the half.
10 seconds. Okay.
Time with me, Frank. Yep.
The way Cov go
Correct.
is that they'll want to zip this around as well, but whether it's the right thing we will see. Now they've lost the line out.
Jones sends it to Moore, who gets all tangled in with the line from Toby Wilson. And this is a bit of a gift for Coventry.
Well, Naelo, the big second row, the Fijian lad was going to the posts. He didn't fancy a catch and drive. I think it is the correct decision. Ball is pretty good in the line out. That's what they normally use. So,
you're 6 metres off for you, yeah.
There you go. Not bad. Instead of 5 minutes out, they can only be 5 minutes out at the best. It's 6 metres.
They're 6 metres off your gap.
Hitchcock, the hammer, blast towards the line once more. Pull with the rest of the boys. They build a wedge, and
Penalty.
well, they don't get it down cleanly, but they do get a penalty try. Ealing will see yellow, and that does change the complexion of the half-time huddles completely. 7 on the board for Cov, Ealing down to 14. Game on for the second half.
Absolutely. What a tremendous bit of play there from Trinder, the prop initially. Well, it was actually well set up, because then again they've been foiled a couple of times. This time they set it up, I think it was Confetic, and then basically just drove over the line Referee said he was taken out. Someone got taken out on the way over the line. Hence, it's a penalty try. Hence, they're down to 14 Ealing for the next 10 minutes.
Well, if you're from Coventry, that's what you call the dream outcome. Clock in the red, Ealing having a play, and from the penalty they give up for getting in one another's way, Coventry have punished them to the tune of 7, and they've lost a man in the process. Dowie, plenty of highlights to enjoy from
Indeed.
that half.
Right, this is the first try. Again, they've huffed and they've puffed. The first try going over, and that's the big man Montgomery. Again, it takes some stopping, because again, it's all about momentum, it's all about speed of the ball, and really it's an armchair ride from Craig Hampson, the scrum half. But again, when you've got some of that weight and some of that power, you've got to have an equally big man against him, and he's just been smashed. That was the first one. Again, this is fortuitous for Cov, but they'll take it. They didn't have much ball. That's the first time they were in the 22. Big for Jane. Nialu, ball over the top. Ball coming back from a ricochet, and it was their captain Poole that eventually went over. So it was a good response and something they desperately needed to get on that board. They'll take that.
But the big players for Coventry stepping up as well. Jordan Poole, such a live wire, don't they? Like, things happen around him. But as far as Michael Dykes is concerned, the tries happen when they put it in his hands. He's touched it twice, and he's delivered on both occasions.
What it is, though, there's a lot of work that's gone on before he's got it in his hands, because again, there's a lot of good driving. There's a lot of, again, sort of nice set-up play, and that's where you want from. That's what he wants to be, just on the left wing. Thanks very much, and just finish him, catch the ball and put it down. Again, speed of ball. That's all it is. Again, a lot of these are made from the big presence of Holgate and Moore in the midfield. But again, you thought at that stage possibly, Joe, they were just going to run away with this, because every time they get again in that 22, they get some territory. Bump, that ball goes, and they score the try.
It was Dykes again without a fingerprint on him, but to their absolute credit, and not just once, twice, but thrice that we're going to see, Coventry have come firing back with real intensity, and their red zone ruthlessness is there to see from pretty much every entry. They've emerged, not with just points, but with tries.
Absolutely, Hitchcock does the job initially. Again, he's a big 12, as like Aidan, he's played that role superbly well, and he gives a target to his forwards, as this was very, very cute. I was expecting something to rumble into the midfield. It's basically 2 pods, one splits off. They think that it's going to come with that attacking that goes to the right. Watch this, there you go. Everyone's in there trying to stop that when it rolls to the right. And again, it's just the amount of strength and power that's gone over there. And right underneath that was Reed, the open side. But equally, as I was saying, I thought, well, Coventry are just going to take the clock down. They don't really need to make any mistakes. They said, no, you don't listen to the way we play up at Cov. And they've got a ball back to one of the props, but unfortunately didn't quite ground it, but a penalty try was given. Again, Ealing goes down trying to stop that. The referee's given a yellow card, so they're down to 14, like I said, for the first 10 minutes of the second half.
The game is in the balance, just 7 separating the sides. Ealing Trailfinders 26, Coventry Rugby 19 in the penultimate round of the championship as we know it, because you'll have all seen the buzz on social media. Next season the league moves to 14 teams and the newly named Champ Rugby for next season. Well, here is a little bit more on how the league will look in 2025-26.
Today we have the Allen Stadium Takeover Day, where we've got 8 teams who have been rewarded for all the work they've done week in, week out to get players on the pitch on a Saturday and Sunday. We've got our DJ, the weather's great, and hopefully going to build some memories for life.
It's a thanks to all those volunteers and helpers that have got us to where we are as a club. On a personal level, today's the day I play my first game with my son.
It's just been absolutely amazing to play on this incredible pitch in this amazing venue with these incredible women who we only started playing rugby as a team in June, and look how far we've come, and for just making amazing role models for all of our children as well. Just I think this is an incredible opportunity for all of us, and I think we've really made the most of it, and I'm really proud to be part of it.
Quite cliche, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to come. Just on the bus in this morning was to see the stadium appear in front of you, brilliant. And then obviously running out in front of a crowd now, it's unbelievable.
Our team's ranging from like 19 years old up to 60 years old, so to get everyone together for a game is absolutely brilliant. It's been really good.
We've been building the club this year, got a third team out regularly, which is something we haven't had in years. Just the number of players who are so chuffed to be here. I'm coming to the end of my rugby career, and it's just an amazing moment for me, but for all of the younger lads coming through as well. It means a lot to them.
I mean, it's incredible. The size of it is fantastic. Great atmosphere, a great crowd come out for the 8 teams here today. Picking the spot up 8 years ago, I don't think I'd still be playing.
Started rugby 9 months ago, and to be here and playing the game I love with the girls I love, it's just fantastic and such a good opportunity.
Have the family down here watching, supporting, and having all the family members of the club here supporting us come down in numbers. It's a really good experience for everybody at the club.
I cannot tell you how much it means to me as a coach, to these ladies who are incredible, having never picked up a rugby ball, most of them. To play at the home of England Rugby is just incredible.
We're here today at the Lensbury in Teddington, where we have a group of players, 15 to 17-year-olds from Tiffin School, and we're doing a coaching session as part of a programme with Honda, where a group of coaches from around the country who coach grassroots are then here today, where we're doing a session with the players, and they're getting a chance to coach them now. How you doing? Good to see you again. You well? There's a couple of boys in trouble here. A couple of boys are real trouble. This first part of the session, I've been working on the support play, the players and their offloading skills. Go on, pass me the ball. And then I get to that middle, and what you're going to do, because I've got another support player there. Oh, brilliant. And it's world class, and we're joyous, and we're celebrating, yes? Yes, what you can do?
Hopefully.
Okay, excellent. It's a beautiful day here today. So it's hot, and you have to work really hard, run very hard to be in support. Yes, but look! Love it! Oh, it's a try of the day! Oh, it's not! So it's challenging, but they've been absolutely terrific. One, yes, go back in the game. Beautiful. Get back behind him. What is your name? Stuart, your ability to get back in the support position was amazing. You went forward and then you went back. Boys, right, Stuart, round of applause. Stuart, yes. Yes, beautiful play! Any chance we get to help continue to grow our great game, and if we can help support coaches who help support their players at grassroots level that are coaching young boys and girls that are coming through our system, and hopefully we'll be wearing an England shirt, either the England men's team or as a Red Rose at some point in the future, it'd be absolutely terrific. Train tracks, you're on the train tracks. Yes, boys, that's wonderful, I'm loving it. Go, 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 go. Brilliant, you're already making a change. They are a wonderful group. You guys are awesome. Look at you, train tracks, stay on those train tracks. Stay on them, stay on them, stay on them, stay on, stay on. Go. If we can all have some positive impact on even just a couple of people, that effect multiplies. I want to be a bit faster, a bit harder. I'm sticking a defender in now. The England head coach is stepping in. We're going to play off here. We're going to play off here. Go, 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 go. Excellent decision. Love it. Finish. Hands, hands, hands. Go, 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 go. Working with the players in the men's team, I know they care deeply about the supporters, they care deeply about the sport in this country and the next generation. And I think any chance we have, any opportunity we have to influence positively the rugby in this country to grow, even if it's people that hopefully will be playing in the England team one day, or even if it's just people who get that bit more exercise or become part of a team, they're great friends of this fantastic sport. That's part of the opportunity that today presents.
This is Champ Rugby. English Rugby's second tier has a new look and a fresh format. Champ Rugby is built for the good of the whole game, from grassroots to the pinnacle, strengthening the pathway for sustainability and growth, engaging rugby fans and inspiring the next generation. So how does it work? Next season, promoted Richmond and a restructured Worcester Warriors join, forming a new league of 14 contenders. At the end of the regular season, the team ranked 14th will be relegated, replaced by the National League 1 champions. 12th and 13th will have a relegation playoff, with the loser facing the National League One runners-up, with the competition spot on the line. The top 6 sides enter into the Champ Rugby playoffs, with the winners declared as league champions. Finally, our champions will play the bottom-ranked team from the top tier in an end-of-season promotion and relegation decider. Together, we are connecting the English game today, tomorrow, and long into the future. Welcome to the Proving Ground. This is Champ Rugby.
Welcome to the Proving Ground. Champ Rugby will be coming at you, and it'll be a bolstered competition with 14 teams. Yes, Worcester Warriors have been revived, and Richmond make their return as well. You looking forward to that, Joey?
I certainly am, not as much as you are, being a very passionate Richmond supporter. And I've seen a few of their games as well.
I'll have to recuse the mic for any of their games. Should I get the nod? I have commentated them being relegated before. So
I was there with you, my friend, because it wasn't a very good afternoon for yourself. But look, these things happen, and they've taken the medicine. They've gone back up. They've addressed themselves, and they deserve it. Worcester, I'm not absolutely sure. They must have paid their debts off, but I'm not convinced that's the right decision. But there you go. It is what it is. They got up to 14. The champs got a new situation, so you've got a bit of a relegation at the bottom, which keeps teams interested to the end of the season. And equally, you've got the 6 teams have playoffs at the top, which is good as long as they are playing off for something.
Well, it's great to see the competition get a shot in the arm, though, as well. Bit of a snazzy rebrand. Position it as that Proving Ground piece. And I think if anyone's sort of dual streaming these games, they'll have seen someone from the Proving Ground scoring for Saints in the European Cup final moments ago. And this is where the stories are for the championship, for Champ Rugby. It's who's the next great you're going to see down here, but also seen at great clubs, important clubs, ones that are embedded in their community.
I've said it till I'm blue in the face, and it is right. Henry Pollock you're talking about, he did score a try, but actually it's gone to a TMO decision whether it was a forward pass. So yes, we're doing 2 games here. One eye on that. I think he will be given a forward pass. But again, coming back to Coventry and coming back to Ealing Trailfinders, they do so much good for the local community, and that's what it's about. It's the community. We all know that player numbers aren't there as they used to be, so we have to do something about it. And the more we can actually talk and enjoy the ability of these young lads and lasses, and the ladies and women, are incredibly important as well.
It'd be great to take a minute just to talk about some of the work that Coventry do in the local community. They've got Project 500. They're getting into the youths around the area, getting them playing at the club, providing meals in the school holidays as well. They're really fully entrenched, and I think modestly maybe they don't shout about it as much as they should, but those kind of...
You mean rugby clubs being rugby clubs that they used to be? We've gone away from that a little bit, because where did you used to go for a bit of crack or whatever, bit of fun, and you'd play for your mates, and that's it. Yes, that's gone out because there's so many more different things to do. But let's get behind the people that want to get down the clubs.
There's nothing more I like to do than take my 2 sons down and get someone else in the rugby club to look after them for the afternoon.
Well, that's again what we do at Willington Park. We're level 6 up in Northwest 2, and they do. Parents bring it down, and lads that used to be babes in arms are now fathers and mothers, and they just let them roam around. We've got a fantastic setup, struggling a little bit on the pitch, but fantastic setup. And they go and get tired out, and that's what it is. Mum and Dad can have 10 minutes respite and a couple of pints, but it's the community. It is the community. Yes, this is the professional end of a community, but you can still have both. And again, without the championship, where would we be? Where would we be? Right, the question is, can Coventry come back? You would say the power game, if they have to use it, Ealing have got the upper hand. But there is a chance that if they get the ball and go, again, I've got to say Hitchcock, give him the ball. He stops their defensive line. He gets over their defensive line, and then it's all about quick ball to the scrum half and the flyers out wide. So yeah, but knowing Ealing and knowing Ben Ward as I do, they'll just want to go next 40 minutes. We're going to actually put the boots on the neck and give the fans something to really cheer about. Great restart.
Well, they won't be playing with the wind. That is firmly behind Coventry's backs. It is Ealing who've regathered the kick-off, and Hitchcock and Holgate lock horns. A handful of jersey is enough to bring down Ealing's inside centre on this occasion, and Hampson has a bit of anatomy to pick through first before feeding it to Jones.
Again, good quick defence from Coventry. You can see they're causing problems a little bit. They're forcing Ealing Trailfinders back inside every time. The only option, a little bit too excited. I think it's Naelo, possibly a little bit high. Again, not dangerous, not malicious. Something the referees have to clamp down on.
Yeah, we've re-established a sensible level around this stuff. Do you remember there was like a period like anything that sort of grazed the neck was being a yellow card? But feels that it's refereed with empathy and sympathy for the game a little bit now.
I totally agree.
What's also
shocks of horror when it first came in, but you have to be seen to do something. You have to be seen to change the laws if it deems that way. And yes, I think it's a very sensible one for obvious reasons with the concussion, but equally players will learn.
Wrapped around Willems to Holgate, and he's cut in half by a really strong hit from Chester Owen. Ollie Morris first to the bounce, bit of advantage to work with, and we will come back for the scrum.
Yeah, Owen making a good tackle there. You can see that they were building something, the Trailfinders, into the midfield, but unfortunately not going to hand, just looping round. Number 8 does well to stop that big fella again, Holgate. And that's what they do. That's when the damage, the ball comes back to the 9, boomf. And the 9 then becomes the trigger. They don't look at the ball, they're just waiting for the 9 to make that decision. Shall I go around the corner, carry on going to the left, or is he going to come back on the right-hand side? There's a bit of rain in there.
Crouch. Boy.
Sam Maunder, who will join Coventry permanently next season after 62 appearances for the Chiefs. Premiership and European Cup winner in that time. Not a bad stint for a young man. Just 25, so there's still many years of good rugby in Sam Maunder, who's played at the very top of the game. Good acquisition as well. Will Chudley, obviously, he's another former Chief. Incredible stint in the 9 jersey for Coventry, so very much the next off the cab rank. And it is Maunder who booms that on an angle, and if it gets the right tumble, this could be the biggest 50-22 of the season. Oh yes!
You do like a 50-22. Now that was a superb kick, and that just lifts the whole team, but especially your backer forwards in front of you. He's absolutely howitz at that. Yes, he's got the advantage. There is wind behind, and you're never sure where this ball is going to go. I think it was slightly touched by Wilson anyway, but what a position. Mouth-watering for the Coventry pack now.
Ball ever the target man, and Paul ever the man to be in the chariot, whipping the horsepower of his fellow forwards ahead. That is just what Alex Ray would have wanted after half-time. Huge 50-22, rewarded and punished by Paul.
Scored the first try, and now he scored the first try in the second half. Again, back after that victory She didn't take part in against Nottingham. Key member, obviously, of this team, key member of the pack, and that's why most hookers love it at the back. It used to be for Leicester, it was Neil Back, but most teams use the hooker. You'll say it's a very difficult job, and I'm sure it is, but actually it's the lads in front that are sweating and are pushing as well. But what a start for the second half. Exactly what Cov needed, this to draw the game.
Oh, it's sweetly struck, but it just leaks out to the right.
That's all they got to do, the wind advantage. Get your boot on the ball, put it in that bottom right-hand corner, and ask the forwards to do a bit of special treatment on the ball.
Yeah.
Again, well worked. You can see, just keep it going forwards. It's the scrum half. Maunder adds his weight to it, but the job was already done.
Two points the difference on Ealing's day of championship coronation.
Well, this is going to be boxed.
Steepling attempt. Toby Wilson, who was outfoxed by that bounce on the 50-22, claims it cleanly this time.
Now you boot, yes please. Don't dump it.
Well, the added bonus of kicking into the wind is it hangs beautifully for the chase, but Logan Trotter owns the airspace.
Balls available, move your head.
Well, there's no one really on this right-hand side, so they have to go on the blind side. And again, I think Maundell will want to put this ball up. It'll be a chase from the back row and backs initially.
Well, no one puts a firm name on it.
Don't put hands in.
Well, we had a really entertaining first half, Dowie. Tell me it's not going to. Tell me it's not going to descend into a boxathon.
I hope not, because again, but all of a sudden with that Coventry score, it's the scores have got closer. Nobody really wants to make a mistake, but there's a few happening now.
Just a scrum advantage.
Who's offside?
And it's now penalty advantage with the offside. So Ealing win that kick battle.
Where you are.
I think there's a knock forward there from the scrum half. There has to be.
Well, there may be a bit of collateral damage though. The physios have raced on here.
You can look, yeah, just don't throw the shot. Yeah.
And it looks like Matas Jurevicius, who is a local lad. I grew up
Captain Woodin
playing minis at London Scottish, pretty sure.
Oh, you know your stuff, you do.
I'm a wealth of niche knowledge on UK-based
Very
rugby
important
players.
knowledge when it comes to games like this.
You all right with water, Craig?
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's a bit of local talent for Ealing. One thing that's been very, very cool that Coventry have done this season has been the Coventry Combine, where they had an open session. They welcomed players of all levels and transition athletes from other sports to come throw down. They did a bunch of testing, got them throwing the ball around, and in an effort to kind of unearth a hidden gem. You'll remember Pat Pellegrini from a couple of years ago, who they found
number 10
through YouTube, playing for Sevenoaks, and he then went on to play in the World Cup for Tonga, then is now playing for Moana Pacifica in Super Rugby.
Brilliant.
And Coventry, they found a hooker who was playing for, I think, Hinckley. So,
because that's what happens, you know, you may get talents coming through the school, areas, and something happens, and then they don't get given a chance. Where do they go? They just sort of go off into the ether. But if again, we get a situation at Wellington Park, and it starts off just playing walking rugby or touch rugby, What's they done? And it's done by Dave Alcock, our director of rugby. Used to be Owl Out, Lou said when I played. And what happens? You attract 7 people, 9 people, 14 people, 15, 16. All of a sudden, there's 3 or 4 of the younger guys, obviously. Thirds are short, as we always are at Willington. Thirds are short, even though they're a fantastic bunch of lads. Bump. These 4 want to ramp it up a bit. They want to get tackling. They want to, not the greatest, but my God, the energy level is there. And all of a sudden, then, when you're struggling for players, you're not struggling for players, which is unheard of if someone's running a third team, as you know. So yeah, there's different ways, exactly. But it takes, it's that community spirit. It's guys like them to think of something, and it's doable. I know numbers are going down all the time, but anyway, have you got on that soapbox again, or is it we got a foot on each, haven't we? That's it. Right, back to normal procedure. Jones puts it into corner. Catch and drive coming up.
Ealing, yes please.
Jurevicius dusted down and patched up and doesn't get the opportunity to be delivered safely to deck because Coventry steam in prematurely.
Don't kick it.
So they're on a pan advantage.
Poor pass from Hampson, but Holgate has managed to grasp it, and then he's taken some meters as well that were not his to take. Jones drifted fizz. Brilliant tackle from Trotter. All the odds were against him as Kernahan stepped in. But Ealing still with that penalty advantage. Fire a few forward missiles into the Coventry ranks. Oh,
knock on green.
Well, back-to-back passes that have died at the feet from Hampson, and we do come back for the penalty.
Again, could have had 2 penalties. One under the post. They don't want to go for that. They want to go for what they know better. Into the corner. Again, Coventry started all that with giving a penalty away, as you said, Joe, that didn't let the man come down. You've got to let the ball man catching the ball come down without putting a hand on him. So almost back where they started. See some great scrambling defence from Cov, but they're always under the cosh there. They always knew they'd have to come back from this from Ealing.
Flying again.
Jurevicius unchallenged, but returned safely to planet Earth on this occasion. Ealing sheer around, but Coventry have infiltrated things. The ball is to floor. Coventry must steel themselves as Chilvers receives the ball from Hampson and makes a minor dent. Now it's more bouncing around. Oh, weaved back left, and Medicine dished out. Oh, a pair of tenderised kidneys for the pleasure.
It was Anstey, wasn't it? Again, another ex-Ealing Trailfinders player. That's Ealing are back up now to 15. They've been playing this first half, first 10 minutes. And, oh my goodness me. You don't want many of those in your career because, again, you don't know where the ball is. Well, you got your hands out for where the ball's coming, but you don't know where the tackling man. Totally legal, no problem at all, but he's just had the wind taken out of him.
Totally legal, totally unpleasant. So,
Rob Barrow, number 6, is now captain.
Now Mike Willemser has made way, which would make me feel that Matt Cornish, the corn dog, is on, and Rob Farrer, who aforementioned captained Ealing in their Premiership Cup semi-final against Chiefs, has been handed the captaincy, and he's also been handed a real dose by that shoulder from Anstey into
just putting his kidney back in.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah,
it's on dialysis for the for the rest of the second half.
Hard boy, you can say that might just literally knock the breath out of you, but again, you've got to take it, and he certainly has. Big scrum for Cov, this big scrum.
set.
But it is a massive press from Trailfinders. Tommy Matthews has done quite brilliantly there. Little angle to work with and even less room.
Yeah, they scrambled well there, Coventry. They knew they was going to come under the cosh.
Hang on. Your 8, Coventry, please change.
Oh, there's a little bit going on here with Farrer and the number 10, Tommy Matthews. Something's been said.
Just hold a second. Mox here. Happy with that change, Frank? Yeah, all done. Let's go. 7's the call, lads. Sorry. Happy though, yeah?
The 20-year-old Dan Green is on and in the middle of this line-out battle. He's not going to get close to that as Dykes goes hunting for a hat-trick. Hampson just lifts it invitingly to the big frame of Kyle White. Oh, it was inevitable. It was unstoppable. It was electric Ealing, full of rhythm, in the groove. And it is try number 5.
Yeah, more finishing it off, but again, great work. And I've got to say, it's a superb cherry ball from Hampson, the scrum half, that puts the big prop through. Look at, watch this. Hold, then go. The scrum half's always the trigger. That's Kyle White. Didn't think he was playing today. All of a sudden put on the bench, and then it's just a matter who wants to score it. And the big outside centre, Moore, says, I'll do that. But again, initial break. Watch the scrum half. Always watch the scrum half. Take your pace off him. And he just holds that up and it just opens that gap straight through. One more pass after that. Try score. Brilliant. Simples.
Yeah, on you.
I'll tell you what, if it weren't for missing round 15 against Ampthill, we would have been talking about a perfect season for Francis Moore. He has been very much the glue in the midfield for Ealing Trailfinders this season. That is try number 10 for the former Sarries and Ampthill man. And one that has come at a crucial time. Holgate is being closed down upon, and then Moore shows sleight of hand to free up Dykes.
Let him run.
Matthews has found some unguarded territory. Hampson lets it bounce and then just has enough extension in him to claim it on the hop. Trotter can't get away from the Welshman Jones.
Yeah.
And he's forced to hold on, isolated. It was all about Jones's tackle, then the arrival from
again.
Moore. And there's something's happened here where
Let go.
a game without niggle is suddenly just bubbling.
Well, you don't want people. What annoys me about it is the people running in, which starts it again. Excuse me, sorry about the language, agricultural language being used out there. Again, it's good rugby from Trailfinders because they put the ball up, they forced them to actually come out. It was that turnover of the ball, I think, and then there's a bit of afters. Something was said, something wasn't meant. Doesn't matter.
We dust ourselves down and we go again.
Indeed.
Thank you.
We'll be buying each other a pint hopefully afterwards. But again, what have we got? 25 to go.
I think a few of those may have been inhaled by the Ealing lads after victory at Coldy.
Brilliant, thank you.
Well, I saw the interview with Ben
week.
Ward. I think he had a few as well. And why not? It was a proper sunny day. Got to say that. And they did perform superbly well.
Matthews bravely puts his body on the line as Holgate gathered pace.
There's the ball.
Hampson urgently demands the ball. Montgomery, who got the try scoring started in the opening minutes of the first half. Oh, there are some big bruises arriving round that corner. And the biggest of them all is Cabos. Bezai Den Hout, the replacement tight head, 6'2", 130 kilos. You ain't stopping him from there.
1, 2, 3 up. Can you let them know, lads, behind the post, please?
Ben Eisenhout, you're right indeed. Watch this again. It's Hampson pulling those triggers, pulling the strings, whatever you want to say that, but that is some finish. So again, you get held up there. All of a sudden now it's a dropout. He's a happy man.
Plus number 7 and 4.
Happy man.
1, 2, 3, 7 and 4, please, clocking.
I think that's just sort of eased the nerves of the Ealing Trailfinders faithful. And look at this from Coventry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 subs coming on. Over to you, Joe. That's why you paid the big bucks, mate. I'm on £4 an hour.
Suva Marcy, Jevon
Go
Warren,
on.
Elliot Salt, Jack Bennett and Mackenzie Graham. All onto the field. That's the 6 of the 6-2 split emptied.
Right. And now you want an impact from those lads.
Young men as well, young men with big futures.
Absolutely.
22, Jevon Warren, 20 years old, Jack Bennett, he's still at Bath University. And Mackenzie Graham is a player I really, really like. Young back row who's going to join permanently from Bath at the conclusion of this season.
Great chase by Kernahan. That's what you want. Again, a superb box kick, kicking into the wind, but he put a little bit more on it. And they've turned it. Brilliant play again from Ealing Trailfinders.
Jurevicius. Wow, there's real fizz in the fingertips of Ealing now. Dykes lifts it optimistically, but it's cut out. Mackenzie Graham, he likes open space. He may be a back row, but he can shift like a wing, and he picks the pass and maunders away, looking for help. Oh, Dan Green arrived at velocity, but he forgot job number 1, and that was to catch the pass.
There's a game of sevens broken out here, mate.
Bring it on.
Whoa,
there he goes.
Go on, big fella.
Matt Cornish. Oh! Careering down the right touchline. Oh, Holly Morris gambled everything. It's advantage being played. It's still fractured field. And now it's more. Dykes wants that hat-trick. But he'll have to play clearer as Reed steps in at half-back. Just the swerve round from Doug Bridge, but no one's there, so he sticks his head down. Jones, Jurevicius.
I think we're on the 46th phase. Go on, tap and go, tap and go. Excellent play. Mistakes, but sometimes mistakes makes the game even more interesting. Not from a coach's point of view, from the watching faithful from both sides. That was some superb, skillful play.
Well, after calling for a kidney transplant for Rob Farrer, there's now a need for approximately 60 lungs out there.
They're just taking it all in, having a sit down, having a drink of, and we see this. What a breakout. Superb breakout. Josh Barton. And again, I apologise, Graham.
Good. Right.
Look at this. It was that was good, and the call came back from the scrum half, come this way, and unfortunately just drops it.
Is that yes or no, Frank? Yeah. Shall we have 5 and 8 Ealing, please, Craig?
Lots of time left. Time off. Ealing, 5 and 8, please, Craig. 5 and 8. I'm just going to see if they're recalling or not. That's time's off.
So Mattis Jurevicius and Will Montgomery make way. Jurevicius
has
had a huge game full of industry. He can be very, very pleased with his afternoon's work. And Easy Azodi and Josh Taylor bound on. Azodi, his final home game. It was announced that he will be departing at the end of the season. Matt Cornish has his claws sunk deep into this ball at the back, and inch by inch, cog by cog, Ealing are powering through. Coventry who crumble, and it is the corn dog, Matt Cornish. A yellow card for collapsing them all at Butts Park Arena early in the season. A try for dominating them all. at Trailfinders Sports Club today.
Well done, Matt. You deserve that, and thank you for the chocolate bar and the water you gave us before the game.
Yeah, all delivered, thanks.
Again, it's just the power that's coming to the fore now. That's the difference between sides, especially in this league. It's the strength of the squads, it's the quality of the squad, something that Ealing have in spades. But again, you've got to come on and make an impact, and he's certainly done that. And I think that is it. If there was any doubt that Ealing Trailfinders are going to win this game, even when we got 20 minutes to go, I think that has disappeared and dissolved. Power, power, power.
Dan Jones for what will likely be his last act of the match, because Craig Willis has stripped off, and I think he's onto the pitch, and so no extras to add for the Welsh playmaker who berates himself. They're the high standards that players of his calibre hold himself to, and that man has had a nose for the paint ever since he picked up a ball. Coventry blown away in the last few minutes. Ealing 45, Coventry 24. A long, long way back as Dan Green throws his 6'5" frame into the fray. Jack Bennett, young man who actually spent some time with the England senior squad, helping the side prepare at the France World Cup. I don't know if you remember that. Yep. They brought young lads into camp. He was one of those lucky young 18-year-olds.
The try scorer Matt Corner's giving that pen away. Just get his couldn't keep his fingers out of the honey jar.
Sure, you absolutely can. Time off.
Again, it allows Coventry just to have some
time's off.
respite. There's a timeout for an injury, so the bench can see again if they make that impact. And there's quite a few different changes in there, but again, these guys obviously train together. They know the calls.
Yeah, no worries. Time's off. Yeah,
Geordie Reid is getting pressed and poked. I think there's a plenty of that. There's the future.
Steve Shingler as well, who was
no release.
There's a picture of him emblazoned in the tunnel, hoisting the trophy with Barney Madison last time out. Now coaching, part of the coaching team for the women.
No worries, all good.
Club.
We'll wait for you to get off, don't worry. Hard. Okay, thank you.
Right.
Suva Marcy, whose brother Rakiti you'll have seen playing in the centres for Sale, is latched onto this after an accurate throw. And the break from Salts is stymied. The tight head holding on as Carl White clamps down.
Yeah, and it just fizzles that out, isn't it? It's like someone putting a blanket on a fire just straight away. It's that precision you've got to have. Again, Ealing pride themselves on the defensive setup, whether it be a liner or, they know when to time it. Get in there, stop that ball, gets a little bit isolated. Exactly what happens. You see, he goes away, bang, and that's all it. Just got to show the referee, as long as you go on that ball, you're supporting your weight, you're going to get the decision.
Even the blatant side entry clear out from Marcy, not able to dislodge him. Farah, I mean, that looked a little bit forward, and that looked a little bit agricultural from Graham Willis.
Well, that's definitely a high tackle.
Well, it's not often you see a torpedo crossfield, but it's worked out for Ealing here, and Wilson's done incredibly well to free up the hands and offload, and now the Pistons of West London are pumping into the 22. Ball left behind, it's ricocheted backwards. Willis is on it. It's pretty free-flowing. It's loose. It is Ealing. It is Francis Moore once more. And Trailfinders notch a half century.
Yeah, it's just, again, it's building, isn't it? It's a power game, and then all of a sudden it's a bit of skill. And then they just go for it, they back themselves. And it's all those hours they spend in a gym pumping the iron. Again, when it comes to game time, that can break out of tackles, that can get off the mark even quicker and keep going, arms aloft. It's all good precision again. Not like Cov getting isolated. There's always one guy there over top of the ball, Jacqueline, making sure there's a protection for the 9 or whoever to get that ball away. Great team game. Great team sort of positioning of their play, and a good finish out on that right hand side. Not quite, it's against the wind. He's got a wry smile.
Wry smile. Struggled a little bit with injury, Craig Willis this season.
Yeah.
Shared the jersey with Dan Jones, and there's young George Warboys waiting in the wings as well, who actually made his first team debut for Ealing in that Prem Cup semi-final in the 10 jersey. That was the injury crisis that they dealt with. And in amongst all of that, number 23, Max Badilli, has taken to the field, who joined the club in 2020 from Exeter, and today plays his last game at the Trailfinders Sports Club.
There's a connection there, the Chiefs, isn't there? There's a few of the guys that have made the journey to this part of London. And again, that's a great box kick. Ball up in the air, and again, even against a little bit of wind out there, you just alter your trajectory as you hit off the sweet spot, and then it's a good chase. The kick is always as good as the chase, and that time again you just get the big lads up, tap the ball back, and you got to put it in at the scrum, then you start again.
Crouch. Bind. Okay. There we go. Let's get our balance this side, please. Second! Crouch. Bind. Set. Stay high, please. Lose your feet behind you.
Bit of a lull in the match.
Yeah.
Now it's very much a done deal, and Ealing are going to mark another championship crown with a win. I'll give you a nice long run up, Dowie, but you are going to have to start thinking about your player of the match. We're not going to announce him yet, but just in case you forgot.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Sam, there we go, Ealing off the top from Doug Bridge. Some intricate shapes being thrown at the Coventry defence, but Mackenzie Graham a match to the puzzle. Willis round the back, and he's calling for being tackled off the ball, but Craig Maxwell-Keys unmoved, unlike Will Lane, who is moved very much against his will, double teamed across the touchline.
Yeah, I think Lane was just involved in a little bit of just holding on. Again, it's just that situation there. It's one of those. The referee deemed nothing was to go for. Maybe just holding on to a jersey.
Stay on their marks. Are you set? You can come in.
Much ado about nothing.
He gets a little bit of his comeuppance there.
Well, Holgate continues in fluid form. He's full of running. Great foil to those around him.
To knock on by
Some looseness, but that has come as a result of a knock-on in the tackle.
Knock on advantage over.
Michael Strong, who joined from Nottingham last year, finds a nice touch finder at Coventry. Once again pinned back.
Now take that back.
into the corner.
Good question.
Funny old season at home for Ealing. Of their 3 defeats, 2 of them have come
Lads,
here.
no rush.
Donny and the Bedford Blues getting the better of them. They nearly notched 100 points here twice, though, as well. 92-0 against Ampthill, 95-7 against Cambridge, taking out a bit of vengeance. They didn't do bad against Nottingham either, 82-5. So they're partial to a big score at home, but also they've been susceptible to defeat at the same time.
They have, but again, they have that big bullseye on them every time, isn't it? It's the benchmark. They set the benchmark, and then every team coming against them, they go, right, okay, we want to have a go at Ealing. Caldy 2 years ago famously beat them at there. It was not the greatest of conditions, but this is what it's about. That you set yourself up there. You've got to look after yourself all the time.
Badilli with Moore on his left, goes it alone. It is lightning quick ball now, and Reed just ghosts almost. Strong to Willis. Almost the turnover. Holgate tangles with Graham. Moore's on a hat-trick, gives it to Strong. He's not quite there. Will Moore complete it now?
Short, hands away!
Short the call. Ealing cluster round, they've drawn a penalty. Round and round they go. And they flex their pick and go muscles. And wouldn't you know it, Matt Cornish strikes once more.
The arch poacher, again, some great play. Both forwards, backs intermingling. Just again, sleight of hand of the ball coming in. They want to keep it as alive as possible.
If I missed you off the ball, sorry. That's right.
There he is, the big fella, enjoying his second score. And the game has gone away from Coventry, and now it's really how many points do Ealing Trailfinders want to score.
Well, for Coventry, this at one stage in the season did look like, this could be a championship decider. They were top of the table. They won 9 of their first 10 games, all competitions, including that fabulous win over Leicester at Welford Road in the Premiership Cup. Such a shame the champ sides aren't going to be in that next season, but then they went on to lose 6 of their next 8. And I think the squad depth was an issue. It's the attritional nature of the championship, but the margins can be so fine. You can be a couple of injuries from seeing your season unthread.
I remember having a chat with Harvey Billion when he brought the Jersey side, who's now gone. I don't know, we'll finish that story in a minute.
Hitchcock has been kept pretty quiet because it's been all about Ealing for the last 30 minutes or so.
The ball's emerging from a brook, you can't dive on it within a metre.
Very quickly talked to Harvey again when Jersey was before they went into liquidation, and said,
you're allowed to pick it up,
because they were about the only side at that time 2 years ago that really pushed the Ealing side, and he said, well, we're just increasing our squad up to 40 because the attritional nature of the game, that's what you have to do. So, and then unfortunately they went bop. So that's what you've got to have as well. It's players that can sustain themselves, but have numbers of players.
Suvamasi spots a gap, punishes the Trailfinders. Coventry back scoring points. And that is his 4th in 18 now. And that is an absolutely lovely conversion as well that we've just witnessed. But had his head up, popped his head up, looked through the periscope, and it's pretty easy, I think, if it was earlier in the season, then maybe the Ealing fringe defence might be admonished for that one being a little bit soft, but I think they're going to let it go with 55 on the board.
I think so, but again, he's done the right thing. Marcy's just he's a good athletic hooker. He's got good arrows, but again, he's just sitting there right behind. And as long as you've got that form and momentum, you can go. You can pick, you can pick, go right, go left. This time he's gone right. Didn't need the support on the outside. Scored it himself.
Tackle! Yeah, he tried. That's for you there. 5.
Right, Dowie. Next break.
Yeah.
We're going player.
You're going to put me on the spot.
We're going to go player of the match from
Play
Coventry. An awkward pass. Mackenzie Graham gets scythed around the hips. There's a bit of pressure on Hitchcock there, and so too Matthews, and inevitably spilt in the congestion.
Need a 9.
Not out, but use it, please.
Francis Moore is a man for all seasons. He's been stationed on the wing ever since. Michael
really
Dodds
well
went off, and Nyarlo has absolutely surfed Willis up. He's had some treatment since coming on the replacement 10, and the referee very happy with the timing. That's the main thing. Well, Nyarlo slips off the try scorer, Bezaidenhout. Oh, Willis puts his body on the line. Badilli slips into the line. Oh, Moore's there at full stretch. He wouldn't look out of place at the test match at Trent Bridge with a take like that.
Now release.
Coventry is spoiling. The touchline's coming into play. Now it's an intercept. Game's getting super loose, and Badilli's having to dig deep into those muscles to be there first. Will Lane arrives to clatter him, and Badilli has done unbelievably.
He's that experience of just riding a tackle and holding that ball for a split second's giving his team a chance to get back and help him out. Brilliant play.
Well, but Bezaidenhout's a handful, isn't he?
Yeah, you wouldn't want that running at you. Into the corner, this will be pumped.
We're going to go into the corner. Who are your runners and riders? Give me some notable mentions,
well, Dax have got a couple of scores. You could say Cornish coming on. Basinhope, you mentioned him there. It is going to come from an Ealing Trailfinders point of view, but my player of the match is number 12, Jordan Holgate. He's your get-out-of-jail man, but he's more than that. He's set up quite a few tries today by his hard work and his graft. And just going through, and I do like my player of the match to actually stay on the pitch, and I think he's still out there. So number 12, player of the match, is Jordan Holgate, an absolute handful and a priceless piece of rugby furniture as far as Ealing Trailfinders are concerned today. He just has given them a direction, given them a power play, and he is still out there. Well done, Jordan.
Just about.
He deserves an ice bath and a few ice cubes in something
a bit stronger.
A bit stronger later, yeah. Well done.
It's a tackle scenario.
Coventry getting close once more. The result is out of reach, but they're not going to leave West London with the music left in them. Round the corner comes Dan Green. Now it's the turn of Warren. Nyarlo, tireless in all his deeds. Lane's arriving left, but Mahasi. Suva slips through for one more. The replacement hookers are having a ball out there today.
Yeah, there's a late run. I think Lane sort of attracted everybody and didn't actually go out that far to the right-hand side. He just went again to the hooker. You can see Lane coming into shot there. And again, good play. Good play. The hooker through a little bit too late, obviously, but makes the scoreboard, what a conversion, makes the scoreboard a little bit more healthy from Alex Ray's point of view, and Coventry and the supporters that have made it down here. They've shown what they can do and the talent they've got within their squad as well, which is excellent. You just see there again, yeah, just delay the pass, gives you that split second, and that's all that lad needs. As we nearly go into the red, again, Trailfinders just ambling up to the halfway line. This possibly be the last play of the game. It's up to the referee. Obviously, Craig Willis will send the ball down that right-hand side. That's a very big kick-off.
That is the most antisocial kick-off you could possibly imagine, with 10 seconds left on the clock. The cloud wisps of West London.
But he's put his players in exactly the right area on the 22. Now they're forcing Cov to play out.
Oh, Cov enjoy this kind of action. Logan Trotter shirks off the attentions of the player of the match. The ball tumbles round. Craig Willis gifts the ball back into Midland's hands, and Lane almost into touch. This is anyone's. Who wants to score it? Maybe Cornish. He's on a hat-trick. Top try scorer last season in the Championship.
Knock advantage.
Well, that may just be the final inaccuracy. No, it won't, because Nyalo is putting the footwork on, and Matthews feeds it to Morris. Graham, we've already seen the break from the replacement back row.
Knock on advantage over.
Bennett. Pass doesn't find its intended recipient. Limbs being thrown optimistically at this ball, and might it yet work for Cov? Wilson untidily collects.
Initial clear outs on feet.
Ealing are tackling themselves at the moment. Surely this has got to be it. We're in the red. It's up to the ref.
Loads of time.
Oh, she has loads of time.
Yeah, 1 minute.
1 minute. Time for a time. Oh, and that's been touched. So time for one more line out. And again, Ealing will be walking to this one. Farah's just getting up late off the floor. He's put another massive shift in body on the line stuff.
30 seconds, Craig.
Will they go the length of the field, or will they do the norm, which is catch the ball, give it to the 9, and kicks it somewhere down the Argyle lane? They're playing.
A wrap-around play. Matt Cornish on the ball. The champions looking to finish with a flourish.
Yes.
There you go.
Michael Strong says, enough's enough. We'll take the win, and we will celebrate this coronation clash with a commanding win. Ealing go back to back as champions of the RFU Championship. They'll be the last to lift this trophy with the competition in its current guise, and that performance rather underlines their unerring dominance from start to finish. A couple of wobbles at the hands of Bedford and Donny home and away along the journey, but Ealing Trailfinders peerless, and they wear the championship crown once more.
And totally deserve to back it up after last season. Yeah, you know, they are going to have a few wobbles. Every club does. You can't constantly put or give that incredible percentage every time you go out, because like I've said, this is the third time you have a big target on you and everyone wants a piece of you, but you've just got a good sides actually just show the way, and this is Montgomery starting things off with just a power runner, a big one against the small, and there's always one winner. You know, Cov played their part, just coming back into the game. They've got a good setup there, but again, it's the strength, the depth, the players, I think in the end just shows coming in from the bench, and just the power game that you need at this level, and even Premiership level when you played in the Championship Cup. You need those big guys giving the scrum half that extra yard, and then the runners coming off the 9 And that was, for me, the difference. And I've got to say, player of the match, Jordan Holgate, just gave them that direction. When he's the first off that big sort of rattle from the forwards, they give that ball quick to the 9, he gets involved, and then they can score tries like that, ball over the top. It's easy for wingers then.
Well, strap yourselves in, because this is a long try-lights package, everybody. I mean, it was pretty open in that first half. Coventry showed real grit, as they were known for. Was that back in the 80s, wasn't it?
You know, absolutely. They were one of these sides.
Yeah, the Coventry grit, and well, we saw that in spades in the first half, always coming back and showed a really clinical edge. In fact, their red zone entries and conversion into big points was a feature of the first half, including here, which you thought may be a turning point try, penalty try, yellow card to Ealing. But they came out firing in that second half, despite this try from the captain, which was as a result of an 80-metre 50-22.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Poole gets 2, then the starting 2, and then Maasi comes on, who's the reserves hooker, and he gets 2. So, look, it's a simple game when it's played well, but you've got to say that, again, Ealing Trailfinders, they just have the quality of players, they have the ball carriers, and that's the difference. It's when you're carrying into those situations, you go forward. There's not many dominant tackles happening from Coventry just to stop them, to make them think again. That's why they're the best side. Simple as. That's why they're champions, and that's why they should be let into the Premiership, as far as I'm concerned, because they're good enough.
A lot of variety to the manner in which Ealing and Coventry, to their credit, went about their business. The impact of the bench was profound. Matt Cornish with the first of 2. In fact, the hookers collectively scored 6 tries out there today. Mike Willemse, the only one not to dot down.
Yeah.
What was the Ealing captain thinking?
But again, how times have changed, haven't they, from hookers? The hooker shape, they've got to be all over the field, do all the things. Plus, they've got to get their darts right. You imagine in that position, they're scrummaging with an incredible amount of poundage going through their shoulders, and they've got to be there, and then they come up and supposed to run around the field as well and support players. But fair dues to Cov, they didn't give up. They know what they've got to do. Alex Ray will know that. They've got to get some big signings, and if they are going to knock on that door, but on their day, they take some beating, because they've got Will of the West backs out far wide, plus they've got very intelligent forwards that know what to do. So it's over to the Ealing lads. They deserve this. The crowd deserve it. You know, back-to-back championship winners will not be going in the Premiership, but again, it's a revamped champs. Next year, I hope most of the games are televised, because they should be, to get into the community and to get this type of thing, to get more people through the gates, to get more people playing rugby.
The Ealing Trailfinders players soak up the adulation of their home crowd for one last time this season, and for the final time with this competition as the RFU Championship. It will be reborn next season as Champ Rugby. 14 teams and plenty of jeopardy brought in with the prospect of promotion and relegation, just as league campaigns should be. And we're seeing as well the rest of the squad. Simon Ozokwe in there too, who is calling time on his Ealing career at the end of this season. He'll have another championship crown. And those celebrations that Ealing enjoyed en route back from Coldie last week, fittingly so, because a couple of seasons before, their slip up on the road there derailed their championship hopes. And, well, ironically enough, a man who profited from that with Jersey at the time now wears the green of Ealing, and he's a championship winner once more. It is the player of the match, Ealing's number 12, Jordan Holgate.
Hi Jordan, first of all, huge congratulations on not only your win but also player of the match. How proud are you of your whole team's performance?
Oh, unreal. It's been a tough couple months. of finding out what's been happening with the champion pen, but we've just stuck our heads down, got to this final hurdle, and I mean the last couple of weeks have been so enjoyable with the team, so it's been awesome to be a part, and I can't wait to rip in next year for the new league.
Yeah, some absolutely incredible try assists. Was that something that you were working on particularly this week?
Not particularly. My job's just to try and get over the gain line, and fortunate enough it paid off today. The boys up front did a good job, made it easy for me to get my lines in, and yeah, paid off today.
Well, you did just say that your ability to go over the gain line and your organisation in defence was absolutely impeccable. Again, with everyone else, how proud are you? What does this mean? And how did it feel coming into today, having already won the title?
It was actually quite a tough week to get our heads around. I mean, last week we were up in Caldy, had to get the win away there to get the league wrapped up, and then obviously a few days celebrating, and then had to switch our heads back on come Tuesday and Thursday. And honestly, I think we probably had our two toughest training sessions this week, Tuesday, Thursday, which teed us up nicely for today. I mean, we've got such a good group of boys here, and it's so cool to come down and be able to play with them and play the style that we get in there. We've still got a lot of work on, but I mean, it's very exciting and good times are ahead.
Well, at one point you were only 2 points ahead. What was kind of said among you all playing at the time to get the gain that you did?
Yeah, we had a good start. I think a few discipline errors let them back into the game towards the back end of that second half, especially getting that yellow card just on half time, which is never a good time to concede any tries with the momentum going on there. So it was just the first 10 minutes after the second half to try to get back into our straps and just play that 40-man out, and I think we stuck to our guns pretty well there, only them in one try in that 10-minute period, and then bounced back pretty nicely just back to our set plays and stuff, and yeah, ended up nicely.
Of course, and finally, you've already won a championship with Jersey Reds before. How does it feel to get another?
Oh, it's unreal. I mean, it's what we play for at the end of the day. Players try and get as many trophies as we can, try and get unforgettable seasons and stuff. I mean, I'm unbelievably proud to be a part of this group and stuff. And like I said, we've still got so much more to go.
Well, congratulations. Hope you have a great celebration tonight. Thank you very much.
Oh, the future's bright, and I think the future is celebratory in the immediacy as far as Jordan Holgate and the gang go. There's Ruben Bird-Tulloch, who looks like he may have a bit of a long road to recovery, but I think the future that he was referring to as being bright was this group of Ealing players, and also this rejuvenated opportunity for Champ Rugby to shine.
Yeah, there's half a dozen or so going and leaving as sort of Ben Ward recreates what he wants to down here. It's a successful squad to win things and to go all the way. He makes no... He doesn't hide anything down there. Yes, they want to play at the top level, but they understand the situation. But all they can do is give the guys their heads, give the guys as much support, give the guys all the conditioning and everything behind. And I know they do that again for the community, and they replay you with performances like this and keep it going. So it's just a hotbed of rugby down here at Ealing, and everybody's banging on the door, I'm sure, to get in. But good performance. And one that they can build now for next week. With London, what have they got next? Hartpury away, isn't it? And
Hartpury away.
Coventry got London Scottish, and that is it then at the end of the season. And then they can have a rest. Then they're coming straight back to the pre-season, probably about a week after.
We can see there, takes a village, doesn't it, to win a championship. Ben Harris nestled in amongst them. He's been the top try scorer this season, but unable to take part in this coronation clash. Right, we've heard from Jordan Holgate. Let's hear from the mastermind. Let's hear from Ealing's Director of Rugby, Ben Ward, who's down there with Phoebe.
Hi, first of all, huge congratulations. How proud are you of your team's performance and having won by such a big margin in comparison to your last matchup?
Yeah, look, that was a tough game. It got really loose at the end. It looked like a bit of an end of the season game, but yeah, really pleased. I think to lift the trophy, we want to do it on the back of a win, and really proud of the guys for how we turned around at half time.
What was actually said at half time? Because Coventry spent a lot of time at their attacking try line, and you did incredibly well to hold them off on multiple occasions, but what was said for them to come back and really turn it around?
Yeah, look, I just think we were being a little bit soft with our defence. Cov had a couple of little plans that really worked. And we just had to stop coughing up the ball and giving them opportunity. So we stuck to the plan. it's about our standards, and when we're on, I think we're a very good side, and you saw that in the second half.
Of course, and at one point in the second half, you were only leading by 2 points, but how important was Francis Moore's try to kind of get back in your rhythm and keep your try-scoring frenzy going?
Yeah, look, momentum's a big thing, isn't it? So there were a couple of times where it went tight, and I think we just accelerated at that point and pulled away. But no, look, really proud of the boys. They'd done the job last week, and to come out in front of the home supporters and perform again, I think it's really credit to what this group's all about.
And I know you obviously knew that you'd won the title last week, but how does it feel to be celebrating with the trophy at home now?
Oh, amazing. I think sometimes in sport you love to do it in the last minute, the last game of the season, but actually this is really nice to actually soak up the moment, enjoy it, and we can really celebrate together as we have been already this week.
And what are you going to celebrate tonight?
We have a good night. So it'll be long into the night, and then we'll start prepping at some point next week for next week. We'll deal with that then.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening tonight. Thank you.
Well, the problem, Derry, with securing the title with 2 games spare is that at the end of the season turns into a 2-week stag do. But you've also got to play rugby.
What's the problem with that?
Wow, very right. Well said. It turns into something of a tour, and it will be it'll be a victory tour as far as Ealing Trailfinders are concerned. And yeah, nice to see the families out there on the field as well. I think we all know very well that strong families support everybody who's involved in the game as well, so that they can shine.
Here we go. This could take some time with the squad that they've got, but everyone deserves it. Everyone deserves that minute, and it's great to see. And we're going to have a bit of a party, and I've been in that clubhouse when they have had a party, and Ben Ward does enjoy themselves, and the rest of the players deserve everything that's coming their way tonight and in the morning, if you get what I'm saying.
Francis Moore was pretty outstanding today, as was Matas, Jurevicius, Rob Farah, very much a leading light throughout the season across both Premiership and Prem Cup campaigns. It's important to remember just how close this team came to being in that final against Bath. They were a whisker away against the Exeter Chiefs at Sandy Park. And we see a number of the talented players who weren't in action today. Ruben, Bird, Tulloch amongst them. Coventry must watch on as the champagne spray is about to commence. I think Mike Willemsen's going a little early there. I think he needs to get his timing on point.
We've got to get our cameraman out of the way as well.
There is a conveyor belt of championship T-shirt clad individuals who have all lent themselves to the cause. And the additional piece to this as well is that a young Brunel University side claimed the Papa John's Cup last weekend as well. So that's the next generation. That is the next wave of talent coming through. And Ollie Newman and Angus Kernahan, club captains, are going to get the glory of hoisting the trophy.
We're just having a photograph taken with the trophy. And any second now, they're going to be moving. There you go, go on. Over to you, Maestro. Give us some words.
Ealing Trailfinders go back to back. They are the kings of the championship once more.
Everything's gone green. Well done. Totally deserved. Fantastic. Over the last season, the season before, and they're going to take some beating next season as well.
Their third crown, their second in a row. Without peer, this championship campaign, and in its final days, under the guise of the RFU Championship, West London is green and glory is Ealing Trailfinders. Well, my great thanks to Danny Morris for his company on the mic for this championship climax at Trailfinders Sports Club. Our thanks to you for tuning in and your continued support of what next season will become Champ Rugby, the proving ground for 14 great clubs and a rebirth of a fabulous league that gives the game so much in this country. It is a league that is ruled by Ealing Trailfinders. They're the champions on home turf here, and we will see you next season.